For a long time, emotions can feel unpredictable, coming in waves of highs and lows that don't always make sense or feel easy to manage. Even without a mood swing diagnosis, it can still be deeply real to notice that pattern and see how much it has shaped your life. Finding emotional balance isn't about getting rid of emotions or staying perfectly steady. It's about learning how to stay anchored while they move through you. That shift often starts with awareness, recognizing what you're feeling, understanding your triggers, and giving yourself space before reacting. Over time, balance begins to look like fewer extremes, quicker recovery after difficult moments, and a stronger ability to understand yourself instead of feeling overwhelmed by yourself. It becomes a practice of self-trust, knowing you can feel deeply and still stay grounded in your choices. One thing that can support that stability is having a clear one-year vision, not as pressure, but as an anchor for the mind. Even if life changes direction, a simple, attainable set of goals can give your thoughts somewhere steady to land instead of spiraling into uncertainty. When those goals are realistic and aligned with your actual capacity, they don't have to look impressive from the outside to be meaningful in your real life. Alongside that, boundaries with other people become really important. Emotional balance is harder to maintain when you're constantly absorbing other people's energy, opinions, or expectations without limits. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out, they're about protecting your inner stability so you don't lose yourself in external noise. This also includes learning to trust yourself more deeply, trusting your perception, your timing, and your sense of what feels aligned or off. Part of that trust is also knowing when distance is necessary, even in friendships you care about. There are seasons where certain conversations, dynamics, or emotional demands may not be supportive of the steadiness you're building. In those moments, stepping back slightly or redirecting the conversation isn't rejection, it's preservation. You can protect your peace without ending the relationship. A simple way to do that in real life might sound like, "I hear you, but I'm not really in a space to get into that right now. I still care about you though. Can we talk about something lighter instead?" Or, "I'd rather not go into details about that, but I'm glad you told me. Let's switch topics." There's strength in setting goals that truly match your energy and season, even if they seem small to others. Sustainability matters more than intensity.
Overstretching can lead to burnout or inconsistency, while steady, honest pacing creates long-term stability and progress that actually lasts. In that way, emotional balance, boundaries, self-trust, and a grounded year vision all work together. One helps you navigate what you feel, one helps you stay oriented in what you're building, and the others protect the space you need to do both. Over time, it becomes less about control and more about alignment, living in a way that feels steady, intentional, and honest to where you are right now. Getting to a place where you're okay with feeling lonely sometimes is less about avoiding loneliness and more about building a solid relationship with yourself. When you can sit with your own company without immediately trying to fill the space with people, distractions, or external validation, you start to notice a different kind of stability forming. That's where joy begins to shift inward into your routines, your goals, and progress, and the quiet satisfaction of doing things that align with who you are becoming. Loneliness doesn't disappear, but it stops feeling like something urgent you have to escape from. This matters because loneliness can sometimes make people more vulnerable to compromising their boundaries just to feel connected. You might tolerate situations, conversations, or dynamics that don't actually feel good simply because they reduce the feeling of being alone. But when you learn to find comfort in your presence, you're less likely to accept connection that costs you your peace. Instead, You start choosing relationships more intentionally, not from emptiness, but from fullness. Over time, this creates a different kind of confidence. Not the kind that depends on always being around others, but the kind that comes from knowing you can be alone and still be okay. And from that place, both your goals and your relationships become more grounded because they're no longer driven by fear of loneliness, but by genuine alignment and self-respect. If you stay consistent with this, building self-trust, honoring your boundaries, and finding stability within yourself, you naturally start to move away from what drains you and towards people who genuinely align with your energy, values, and the life you're building. I hope this whole summary helped. It's something that took me a long time to learn, so I just wanted to put it out there so that if it is helpful to someone, you kind of just got it all in, a few minutes. So, like I said, I hope it helps, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you.